Hello everyone. So today we'll be learning about the DPSP, Directive Principles of State Policy. As you all know that the fundamental rights concept which we learned from, it's from basically starting from Article 12 and ending up to Article 35. Okay, 35. Now post 36 onwards, still 51A, we'll be dealing with DPSP very purely. Now I've already made few short videos about complete aspect about this. You can watch it up in my playlist. But generally what I want to tell you about the DPSP, that is about Directive Principles of State Policy. Now we'll be learning DPSP in much more detailed manner. So guys, try to understand this in a very simplified manner, is that our entire concept of this article from Article 36. See, 36 speaks about definition of the state. Okay, 36 speaks about definition of the state. Now what we learned in Article 12, what did we learn in Article 12? Same thing, the definition of the state, that same definition is also applied in Article 36. But our main concept of learning starts from Article 38 as well as 37. 37 I've already made short video, but here I'll be starting with 38, still 51A, all the important component I'll be dealing with. Now in the DPSP I have basically divided into three parts. Basically our DPSP into three important components. One is on social principles, Gandhian principles, and liberal principles. First one, what do you mean by social principles? An aspect of social principle which is generally for the welfare of the community as well as for the welfare of the people. Now what do you mean by Gandhian principles? Gandhian principles, which is basically been brought up by Gandhi, especially for supporting cottage industry. And liberal principles are those which are very much liberal enough. So I'll be just showing you one by one and I'll be explaining it to you. Now starting with the socialist principle. Let me use my red pen. Yeah, socialist principle. Now what do you mean by socialist principle? The first one starts with Article 38, 39, 39A, 41, 42, 43, 43A, and 47. Now Article 38 speaks about promote social welfare. Point number one, minimize inequality in income, status, and opportunities and facilities. That means that providing equal opportunity for equal work. It is similar to 39 itself, but also we are collectively looking into the overall welfare of the state. Now in terms of looking into the income, status, opportunities, should I discriminate only one person? I should give more opportunity, another person should I give less opportunity? Nothing like that. You have to give them equal opportunity from the state's perspective. From whose perspective? From the state's perspective. This is about Article 38. Now, next about Article 39. What do you mean by Article 39? Adequate means of livelihood. Supporting all the aspect which is in terms of welfare for the livelihood of the people that we are providing over here. Now, fair distribution of wealth. So it's about fair distribution of work, equal pay for equal work. Now, if you remember, if I take you 50 years back the line, what happened? For men, they used to pay extra. For women, they used to pay very less. Now, remember, what is this Article 39 speaking about? Article 39 is saying about equal pay for equal work. You pay depending on the work scale. Okay, now if you have watched previously also I was teaching about the Standing Orders Act, Industrial Dispute Act, as well as Karnataka Shops and Commercial Payment Act. There I was just telling about it. How much as you work, that much as you have to pay for it. If you're working for extra, then extra payment should be received. This is coming under Article 39. Similar way, all these act which came, it's basically inspired from these kind of principles. Now 39A speaks about free legal aid. What do you mean by free legal aid? Free legal aid means that it's very simple. Okay, see guys, free legal aid, the concept itself says that, for example, if you are being arrested and you do not have any, you're in a very poverty state. Now if you want a lawyer to be represented from your side, so you take the assistance of free legal aid. So in Karnataka we have this Karnataka Legal Service Authority. In Bangalore District Legal Service Authority we have, even High Court also, High Court Legal Service Authority we have. Not only just because you've been arrested, even generally also, if you feel that you do not have a financial status, then you can go surely ask for a free legal aid. Now Article 41, what do you mean by Article 41? Provide the citizen with right to work, right to education, assistance in unemployment, old age, disease, and other disabilities. So considering this, even government can make different schemes. For example, right to work. For education also we have different amount of schemes, right? Education welfare schemes and so and so. Now assistance in unemployment. Now in our country there is a lot of unemployment. For example, there's a beautiful scheme of Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act, in which the central government gives a percentage of money for the within the state level, for the people especially in the rural areas to work, and then they'll be getting per day 100 rupees, something like that. There's a very beautiful scheme. So yes, assistance in unemployment, old age people also, there is different beautiful schemes. And about disease and disabilities, we have ample amount of schemes which is inspired from Article 41. Now, what do you mean by Article 42? Just and humane conditions for work and maternity relief. So, all this Maternity Benefit Act, you remember the Maternity Benefit Act. That inspiration is also taken from which one? It's taken from Article 42. Okay. Now, what is Article 43? A living wage, a proper conditions for work, ensuring a decent standing of life. So, all the aspect regarding the wage, welfare of the people, that is covered up over here. Now, Article 43A speaks about participation of workers in the management and organization of the industries. So, even government can inculcate different kind of skill development programs, or generally, government can facilitate. 47 speaks about level of nutrition, standard of life, and standard of public health. So, about nutrition aspect, everything is coming under 47. So, these are the socialist principles generally required for any state to function. Without these principles, no state cannot ever function. This is an important component you need to remember. Now, what do you mean by the Gandhian principles? Now, Gandhian principle, it has actually been introduced by Gandhi, in which he want to promote the cottage industries. Now, let me show you a few important aspects for it. Seek participation of the people and governance of the country. So, he wanted people's participation in the governance of the country. Organize village panchayat. So, village panchayat, if you remember, like we have the sarpanch, gram panchayat. If you come anytime, visit the rural panchayat. Like I'm staying now in Electronic City. So, our place is completely controlled by, even the rural area is basically controlled by panchayat. So that election system about everything is basically enshrined under Article 40. 43 speaks about a living wage, proper working condition, and ensuring a decent standards of life. For whom is this? Is it for urban or for rural people? It is basically for rural people, for promoting actually for the cottage industry. Even for an urban, it can come for some extent. 43B speaks about promotion of cooperative society. We have different cooperative society, right? Cooperative society run for a particular kind of specific objectives, and they're doing very ample amount of, even a milk dairy cooperative society is also being very popular now these days. So even that is also taken from the Gandhian principle. Now, education and economic interest of the weaker sections, protection of the social injustice and exploitation, very common. We have already learned this in a previous articles. It is still just base of continuation of it. Level of nutrition, standard of life, standard of public health. So government should bring no, new kind of schemes for the welfare of the people, new kind of collective holistic development. That's what is basically speaking over here. Now, Article 48 speaks about animal husbandry, modern and scientific basis to slaughter of the cows. So, animal husbandry and modern scientific basis. That means that our government should basically promote such kind of animal husbandry. I think Kerala is a beautiful example for this, because in Kerala, lot of such incidents you can see on a regular basis, where government keeps on supporting the people in terms of how, like urban, like husbandry sector, as well as in terms of providing different kind of scientific technicism. And there is a different amount of thing, even Kudumba Shri is also one of the most where the group of women come together and they try to make some kind of products and sell. That is also very famous thing which is in Kerala. So similar way, animal husbandry, modern scientific basis to prohibiting slaughter of cows. So all this, even we have in Karnataka, we have slaughter of beef. There was a very big protest which is happening 2 years back. So this all is basically an inspiration from this particular, this one, our DPSP. Now the last one is about the liberal principles. Now what do you mean by this liberal principle? Liberal principle speaks about like the uniform civil code. Okay, uniform civil code, unified laws for everyone. And you know, right? That UCC was in a protest for a very long period of time. I think from last, when that bill was tabled, there was there when the BJP, our NDA government, had a plan to implement UCC, uniform civil code, like treating all laws to be same. But there are many contravening for it. Okay, like making all laws similar. Like for even in religious aspects. So then how would be that implicalities would be? So under UCC also comes under this. Free and compulsory education to all children 14 years. So remember, as a society is progressing, what happens? The laws also will be progressing, or as the country is also progressing, the government will start looking into the competence welfare of the people. Okay, very simple as this. So free and compulsory education to all children, even from still the age of 6, even all kind of basic amenities which a child should get for the nutrition aspect is basically provided by the government, especially in states like Kerala, because I'm able to link to that place a lot. They provide a lot of nutrition stuff until the child attains age of 6 and all. So the government is also providing it. So similar way, free and compulsory education in all government schools, state run schools, they are providing it for it. So it's basically coming under Article 45. Now, animal husbandry, modern science basis of prohibiting slaughter of cows, this all we will learn from the liberal principles also. This particular aspect is inspired. Protect and improving of environment, safeguarding and forest and wildlife of the country. Now we have Wildlife Protection Act. So I'll be posting up more videos on this, but just try to understand this in a much simplified manner. protect monuments, places and objects of national importance. So all this protection has also been basically been taken inspiration from the liberal principles. Separation of judiciary from the executive. This is also an important. Our judiciary is different. We have three organs, right? Judiciary, legislative, and executive. That is also coming over here. Promote international peace and security, maintain good relations with the different states, respect international treaties, and settle dispute with arbitration. So settle dispute with arbitration, mediation, right? The third party coming and resolving the dispute instead of going to the court. The pendency of the case are basically being reduced day-to-day basis. That is also coming up. We have international treaties, like Geneva Conventions. We have ample amount of treaties, which needs to be followed by the worldwide, and this has played a very important role. So now we have overall learned about three important components. One is social principles, and then Gandhian principles, liberal principles. We learned important articles which is coming here and there about the important major components about it. So that's all for today's video. If you do like it, please do like, share, and subscribe. And so we'll be posting more videos about this in the upcoming days. So hereby we complete still article 51A, right from important articles from 12 to the basics of constitution. Still now we have finished the entire thing. This is the last such video on our playlist, especially in this. And I'll just put one more short if you want about the notes, where I can give you the notes and all. And yeah, take care. Wish you all a very wonderful day. Goodbye. Take care.